everyone. How you guys all doing? Well, this is it. Better Call Saul. The series finale happened just a couple days ago. Not only this video, but I'm gonna do some other videos, me talking about other previous things that happened in Better Call Saul, previous seasons, this past season. But if you, again, do not watch this video until you've seen the series finale. It contains spoilers, but of course you should have watched by now. It's been a week since this. Actually not a week. Today is this video will probably be loaded either today or tomorrow. At least we'll upload by 18th. But it's been 3-4 days since the series finale, and again, the past 2-3 seasons have proved that Better Call Saul might even be better than Breaking Bad. Now, even I'm to the point where I think Better Call Saul is overall probably a little bit better show than Breaking Bad, and I love Breaking Bad. But to me, the series finale from Breaking Bad is much better than Better Call Saul's series finale. But the series finale was pretty shocking. Didn't expect a couple things. Number one, there was a part of me that didn't want, was it Jimmy, Saul, Gene to get caught, especially before half of the episode. You know, he got caught. There's part of me that There's part of me that wanted. There's a part of me that wanted, Gene or Saul or Jimmy to get away with it. But if you think about it, Walter died, and Jesse got away. He's in Alaska, and it wouldn't be fair both Jesse and Saul Goodman or Gene to get away too, and not to be caught. He had to be caught, and again, he's responsible for so many deaths for helping Walter White. So again, he in this episode showed he did a mistake. He went after the guy who had cancer, and his associate, I forgot the guy's name, that lives with his mom. He drove his car into his taxi to another car, and his mom found him out that he's the con lawyer from Albuquerque that's wanted across the country for helping Walter White. They found him in a dumpster. Right there when he was in the dumpster, when he dropped his diamonds and his money, that was it. When he dropped his money and his diamonds, that was it, and they caught him. It was pretty shocking that I never expected to see the widow that played Hank Schrader's wife, Marie. We have not seen her at all since that phone call at Breaking Bad. We haven't seen her since the Breaking Bad series finale, when she made a call to Skyler that Walter White was in the area. There's a lot of things, a lot of questions, where the reason why she was there, she believed that he knew Walter was going to or killed Hank Schrader and Steve Gomi. The thing is, though, is that if you guys take a step back to Breaking Bad, even Saul Goodman, even Walter's son Jr., they all believe that Walter White killed Hank Schrader and Gomi. If you remember the Breaking Bad series finale, it wasn't Walter White. Remember, it was that crew that killed those 10 people in the it's the uncle of what's his name? Forgot his name. The one that Jesse doesn't like. I'm talking about the one that Walt killed in the series finale. The group, with the Nazi tattoo. I'm called the uncle guy, the uncle Nazi guy. It was that crew that killed Hank Schrader and Steve Gomi. We all know that, but everyone else, Walter's son Jr., Hank's widow Marie, and even Saul Goodman, they believe that Walter White killed Hank Schrader and Steve Gomi, but he didn't. He tried to save them. Yeah, he did call them, but when he Let's see. I mean, remember he called them because he called him first because he wanted to get Jesse because he thought that Jesse stole his money from the desert. You can hit his money in the desert. But when they showed up, Walter said, "Don't do anything, don't kill him." And they killed Hank Schrader and Steve Gomi. But everyone believed that Walter White killed Steve Gomi and Hank Schrader. But he didn't. And even Saul Goodman thinks that Walter did it, but he didn't. The only people that knows that could vouch that Walter didn't kill Steve Gomi and Hank Schrader is Jesse. But Jesse's in Alaska. So that's one thing that Breaking Bad, and also too, I think, let's see, Walter did tell his wife Skylar that he didn't kill Steve Gomi and and Hank. He gave her the coordinates so she could use it as a deal because she was getting tried. So maybe and so if you're a little bit confused, Skylar, I guess it all goes back that Skylar said, "Hey, I got the coordinates of where Hank and Hank Schrader are buried at." Maybe she did tell the DA that, yeah, my husband did kill, my brother-in-law Hank Schrader and his partner Steve Gomi. So Skylar probably told, Walter did it, but he didn't, even though Walter told her. You remember, he's like, "No, I tried to save him." So yeah, I mean, but still, even though you would have thought throughout all the first 5 seasons of Better Call Saul, we see, black and white, the aftermaths of Breaking Bad, where Saul Goodman, Gene's at. Looks like he did not want to get caught, but when he got caught, he really didn't like. He didn't really get upset. Well, he did get upset in that shot when he punched the door, but still, he still picked himself up, and he was able. If you saw the episode, in the episode, you saw all those counts. You saw all those counts of him facing money laundering, 2 life sentences, and plus 100 years. And he brought it down to 7 years. 7 years. And of course, the reason why what he did, made a confession, is because for Kim. Now, when he was on the plane with the marshal talking to the lawyer, his advisory, I forgot the guy's name. He was kind of his rival, and if you remember, him, he was always in the beginning, the first couple seasons when Jimmy McGill was first Jimmy McGill before we saw Goodman. He was worked small time as a lawyer, being defendant, and the other lawyer was like the plaintiff, the bald guy. So it was advisory, his rival. When he told him on the plane, Kim confessed, and he was like, "Oh," and then, but remember, just because the lawyer told Jimmy or Saul Goodman or Gene that Kim confessed, it wasn't because he decided to do the right thing because of that. He did the right thing when the lawyer told him that Howard, oh God, his death was probably the most tragic death I've seen, in my opinion, in Breaking Bad. That was so unfair what happened to him. I feel so bad. We'll get into that pretty soon. But when the lawyer told Jimmy that Howard Hamlin's widow was going to bring is going to open up a civil suit and take everything she's got, that really set Jimmy to realize, wow, he's got to do something for Kim. He can't let that thing happen to Kim. So right there, again, it wasn't just because the Howard told it wasn't just because the lawyer told him about Kim. I mean, it's not just because he mentioned Kim, because when he said something about Kim, just admitting what happened, he was about to sit back in his seat. But when he said something about him bringing a civil suit, and Kim is probably gonna lose everything, Jimmy realized, Saul Goodman went back to Jimmy. He had to realize he had to do what he had to do to help Kim. So him serving 80 years in jail. That that probably gave some closure to Howard Hamlin's wife, widow, saying, "Hey, Jimmy Saul Goodman, would he do the pranks to my husband? He's paying the price. He admitted it. He's in jail for the rest of his life." And she's thinking, Kim, she lived with the guilt. There's nothing, you can't prosecute her. You can open up a civil suit against her, but she really has nothing. She does have a small house in Florida. Has a pretty good career, not as good as a lawyer. I mean, she's, Howard Hammond's wife's thinking, she came to, she wrote a thing. She came to me in person, admitting her guilt. What she did, she wrote. She went to her. She told her in person, wrote it in person. What's the point of going after everything she's got if her ex-husband's paying the price? So, yeah, I mean, let's see. I mean, you have, of course, 3 different timelines. It was, if you my favorite character in Breaking Bad universe, even before Better Call Saul, he's always my favorite. And plus, watching Better Call Saul, I really like him more. I'm a big Mike. Mike's my favorite character in all the Breaking Bad. He's my number 1 character from the whole Breaking Bad universe. He's my guy. Second, I'm a huge Gustavo Fring. Third, believe it or not, I like Lalo. I was kind of upset they killed him off right away, where right after the first episode, the second half of the season of the last season. There's a part of me that wanted him to be alive, but they all display, you would thought he would be alive because in Breaking Bad, Saul Goodman's like, "Did Lalo send you? Please don't tell me Lalo sent no Lalo." You would think that Lalo would still be alive watching that, but apparently, of course, he died. But it's genius writing for Vince Gilligan, whatever the creator, whatever his name is, and Peter Grill, whatever. Sorry, I forgot the directors' names, the creators' names. But they're amazing. They wrote. It's like really perfection writing. They wrote in the whole script that everyone, Mike and Gus, know that Lalo's dead. But Mike's told Jimmy, Saul Goodman and Kim, Lalo's not coming back. But that doesn't clarify he's dead. That is saying he's not coming back. So Jimmy, Saul Goodman thinks he might still be alive. So that was perfection right there. Of course, I'm still upset how they killed off Mike. I don't like how they killed Mike. I even thought about today, thinking, why not have Mike just go on the run along with do the same thing with Jesse, where at the end you see Mike and you could have done something with Jesse and Mike going their separate ways on the run. That would have been awesome. But still, I don't like the fact how Mike was killed off. I don't think any of us like the fact. Maybe it's not just because he got killed off, the way he got killed off. You know what I'm saying? Just running away from Walter. I think it looked like Walter either not accidentally shot him, but when he shot him, he regretted it. And he's at they're all looking, saying, "No, shut the fuck up," and then we die in peace. So if you remember that, that's how Mike died. But again, so like I said, I was trying to thought. So what was that at? Okay. So again, yes, it's 3 different timelines. You see Mike in the beginning. That's Better Call Saul timeline when he was carrying the $7 million for Lalo. Then you see the whole thing. It's pretty cool how the writing so superb, so perfected, unlike Game of Thrones, the last season. But we'll talk about that in another video. With Mike was from Breaking, when he carrying the money, they added a scene when Mike and Jimmy was carrying the money for $7 million for Lalo, and talk about Time Machine and the whole thing with Walt. Remember, if you remember the whole thing with Walter White and Saul Goodman, they were bumpmakes hiding. You know, when the cleaner was trying to get them new identities, trying to do the whole paperwork, try to get them relocated so they won't hiding from FBI and the authorities. You see Walter White and Saul Goodman having a conversation, and it seemed like Walter White. It was probably right after. Remember the Breaking Bad finale when and Walter wanted Saul to be his lawyer to do some work and go after the guys that killed Hank and Steve Gomez, get the money back. So that was some Breaking Bad finale, right? And Saul was like, "I'm not your lawyer anymore. That's it, and you're on your own." And actually, I guess the conversation they had in Better Call Saul was it was the the Better Call Saul conversation finale. That was before the conversation they had in the Better and Breaking Bad finale, because when Saul Goodman told him, "I'm not your lawyer anymore," Walter White was coughing, and I think he left the room with bags. So it's probably before and after. You guys know what I'm talking about. And so that's you have Saul Better Call Saul timeline, Breaking Bad timeline with Walter White, and then you have the black and white. The aftermaths of Breaking Bad, post Breaking Bad. It's pretty neat. And again, the whole remember this, guys. When Kim had a conversation with Jesse the last episode, the second to last episode, when Kim signed the divorce papers with Saul Goodman, when the Asian guy, what's his name again? The guy that got caught was, if you remember the first episode, I think it's the first episode of in all Breaking Bad, when Walter White was on the ride along with Steve Gomez and Hank Schrader with Hank, his brother-in-law Hank. You see Jesse, getting out of the window, and his friend, right, getting arrested, and you see Kim getting out of the office after signing the divorce papers. She bumps into that one guy that got arrested, and when she's talking to Jesse, that timeline, remember, is from the first episode. So when Kim and Jesse were talking, right after there, when Jesse asked her about Kim, that's when he went home. That's when Walter White confronted him, saying that we should be partners. We should partner up. So Kim and Jesse, they actually had a conversation. That's an add-in scene from the timeline from the very first episode of Breaking Bad. So you guys should know about that. Really superb writing from James and from Peter and Vince Gilligan, whatever his name is. So anyways, I hope you guys like the Better Call Saul finale. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. Especially if you have Spectrum's on demand, you can watch it. And they said there's not gonna be no spin-offs. But now I've heard something about the lawyer that was Jimmy's advisor. They might do him a spin-off. And if they had a spin-off with the guy, his advisor, with the bald guy, they'll do scenes where he's visiting Jimmy in jail, because even though he's 80 years in jail, 86 years in jail, they're narrowed down to like 10 for good behavior and some other stuff. He could probably. What you have to understand too is that, like Jesse said, he wasn't a criminal lawyer. He was a criminal lawyer. And to get a deal, to get a sentence reduced from 80 years to 10 years, especially on good behavior, he could tell him some other stuff, other clients, about what they did. Because he got them off. And if he does some more deals, he might be out within 5 years. So keep that in mind. I don't think they'll do a spin-off on Kim. I don't think so. Maybe. I thought they might do a prequel with the whole thing, how Gus, the whole cartel. That'd be awesome. How Gus came to business with Hector Salamanca, Anasio, not Anasio. Let me see, Anasio, Eladio. Yeah. So the whole cartel. That'd be awesome. But anyways, you guys take care. This video's pretty shitty, but haven't done a video in a long time. You guys take care.